Hello, everyone, and welcome to our August office hours. My name is Stacy Hatch, Product Marketing Manager here at GUIDEcx. I'm joined on today's call by Cameron Crossett, Senior Product Manager, and Chris Haleua, our VP of Product. We are excited to talk with all of you today to give you a deeper look into recently released product features and how they can add value for your organization. So just want to briefly cover what we're going to be talking about today on office hours. We're going to bounce back and forth a little bit between Cam and Chris, but the topics we'll be covering will first be the embedded onboarding portal. So how you're able to take our Compass experience and actually embed that onboarding portal into your application or site to drive adoption with your customers. Then talking about how you can customize that customer onboarding portal with a new resources tab where you can add onboarding resources, things like decks, docs, links, things that will again help drive adoption with your customers. And then we'll be walking through three new standard reports, including the Project Manager Command Center report, a new email deliverability report. I know that's one people are anxious and excited to have, and a new users report. And then we will end talking about some of the updates to our beta features, like the messages experience. As we go along, please leave questions, comments in the chat or the Q&A tab. We will be answering those live. We'll also, of course, be sending out a recording of this month's office hours following today's call. Thanks for taking the time to be here with us, and we're excited to get going.
All right. Thanks for the intro, Stacy. Um, really, GuideCX exists for one primary purpose, which is to engage your customers. We find that when you engage those customers, the products are much more likely to be on time and their satisfaction is much higher. But really, when you think about customer engagement, the main way that people assume that we're going to be helping them with that is primarily through email. And we're committed to that. That's why we have that new email deliverability report where we want to show you details in the 1 million emails we sent out every month for all of our customers. But it doesn't end there. And that's where we wanted to really push harder into the other channels where people wanted to interact and engage with you. And that's why, last year we had a lot around Compass. We're really proud of how simple that external portal makes everything. But it's really only when we push into these embedded experiences and then these conversational UIs and into other channels like SMS text that we can really meet people where they already are. And that's why we've been pushing into this expanded theme around what the onboarding portal can really do. At first, it all started off with it being the first class cabin in the airliner, where they might not necessarily need to be in the cockpit looking at every single button, but they definitely deserve to have this simplified view where they can send messages and change status and upload attachments. And that's been great. But we want to have more traction around where this simplification happens. And that's why Cam's going to be showing us today where you can go and add just another simple menu item in your navigation. And whether you have a basic website or a more complex SaaS offering in your online solution, that you can make this really easy to find, but also really trusted because they see how natively it connects with all the other experiences you provide to them. And then after he's done with that, I'll go on and talk about those decks and docs and charts that Stacy just mentioned and exactly how you're able to customize all this with drag and drop, just as you have with any of your internal types of answers you've collected. And so let me hand over the time now that we've set the stage to Cam to talk to us first about how embed works.
Sweet. Thanks, Chris. All right. So here we are. Oh, here we are on the embedded onboarding portal. So the big takeaway here is that you can have your Compass experience directly in your application. And this is huge because it's one less place for someone to have to navigate to find what they need. It could be that they have a link directly inside your application that they're navigating everything else that they're learning, and you can point them directly to this one button and say, if you ever have any questions or problems or wonder where we're at throughout this implementation, you can click this button and get that compass view. And as Chris talked about, the reason for all of this is customer engagement. We love all of our other methods, but we also know that there's nothing as easy as them just being inside of your application. There's no email to go find, there's no link to click. It's just right there and ready to go. So I want to walk you through what this looks like. So we'll get to this screenshot here in a minute, but let's start with some of the help documentation and understanding how this all works. So in our knowledge base, you've got an article here that's accessible. It outlines exactly what it takes to embed this. And this iframe code right here is where we're going to be focusing a portion of our time. So we're going to have that code. We're also going to, with this demonstration, let me come here to our Open API because I've actually already authenticated my user. Up here in our authentication, you would have picked up your API key and put it in here. You would be able to authenticate. And then right down here, we've got our generate and embed token. And so let's go right over here. You can see that there's this breakdown that I've got right here. And so this is a portion, we're parsing this URL where we've got our token value in here. And I'm not sure exactly why this happened to me. I'm going to just go from scratch because I'm seeing that part of that cleared out for me. So apologies for demoing on the fly. This was something reset. So in my API key, I'll come here, copy this, and if I come to my API docs, they're right here. I'm going to close this one and let me authenticate. So I'm authenticated. I can come down now to this embed token, and I'm going to come back to the code that we talked about from our help file that we need. It's this one right here. And I will go ahead and paste that in here. So you can see that this is asking for an embed token, a project ID, and a customer email. This gives them the authentication. This tells them which project they should be seeing, and this is which user. So if we come back again to our API documents, I've got one user that I'm going to focus on here. We're going to do this. We'll do embed 2 because this user has a task assigned to them. So it'll make for a better view. So I'm going to copy that email and I'll paste that here. And let's get all of our tokens and everything. So now I've got my embed token and my ID, and I've got that user email. I already know that user email is a portion of it. So I'm going to come back right here and put that in. Then I'm going to come back and grab my token. And I'll add that in. And then we will grab the project ID. And there's our project ID. We'll replace that. And you can see I've got my old one up right here, but let me run this again. And you can see that it has generated that. And we've got the customer view inside of this, this editor here. Now, this is all great and dandy. I wanted you to see it start to finish, but in my opinion, the really cool thing to see is this in all its glory. So I need to log out of this instance here because I'm going to log in through an actual provider that has already done this. So this is one of our customers, Oliver. When I come in here, I've got a user. It's all ready to go. This is their application. They worked with us throughout the beta and sign in. All right, you can see this is just one of their sandboxes that they were kind enough to set up for us. And if I come over here to this onboarding button right here, this is their instance. You can see Compass is loading right there. And this is inside of their application. They use a feature flag to indicate whether or not this should be visible to the customer that's onboarding, because there will be times when someone is done onboarding and they need to remove this or want control over it. But they've created a button, and when a user clicks on that, they have the complete embedded experience directly inside of their application. And the user has all the same functionality inside of Compass that we would expect. So for me, this is really, really cool. I love seeing it in an actual application where people can use it and get value from it. But I did want to walk you through and kind of see just how all the pieces fit together. And that help documentation is pretty much all you need for one of your technical resources to go in and do your portion to add this to your application. I'll send it back over to you, Chris.
Great job, Cam. Right. So now that we know that we can embed the portal, let's take a little time and show what it's like to customize what is shown there. Oops, it's right here. So now what you can do is come to a dedicated page that we'll have created for you called Portal Resources. Within Portal Resources, you can just come over here and edit. And then as you edit, it'll ask you what type of content you want to include. And a lot of time in the past, we've just been including more visualizations. That's totally fine. You can count on those visualizations being filtered by customer and by project. But this is the area that's been a little underutilized until now, which is to create document cards or even dynamic text cards. In these document cards, you can have PDFs, slides, Google Docs, Word docs, whatever you want, images or videos. And this is where you can begin to bring the documentation and intro content that is really unique to you and that you want to have available to them at the tips of their fingers. So as we do that, that's where we can see just a few examples for us. Like when we look at different types of images and PDFs, we often will upload our post-sales experience so people can see how many days they're going to be going through each of these phases. Then we'll have an intro video where in the past we might have only buried it in an invite email, which is okay, but can be great to really revisit if they ever want to go back and look at it again here in the portal. And then we clarify what the different roles are on our side and on their side. And that will be a lot of just the general documents that we'll include in the resources tab. But then down below over on the right, you have all the options to include any trends you want, any tables that you want, any filtered warnings that you might want to use to hold them accountable. And this can be either things that you have seen built by us in your standard reports or things that you want to build all on your own based on what you know they want answers from you about. So let's just take a quick glance of what it looks like when you have this new tab. In the past, you've always had the Today Notes and Attachments tab, but as soon as you're ready for me to activate this, since once you've configured your portal resources page, then I also can activate a feature flag, which will make this visible to all your end customers, whether or not Compass is embedded. So even though I love embedded portals, you don't have to embed the portal in order to customize this resources tab. So let's take a glance at it live. So um, let's see. I'm going to just jump in again one more time. And over in here, I'll take a look at my portal resources page. And in here, scroll down to it. There's portal resources. And here's all that live content that can play with the video that you can mute or not. With slides you might want to maximize and just walk through each part of the deck, or just different images you might want to maximize. But in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these charts that are kind of buried down below those static resources, and I'm just going to do a quick layout change so you can see how this all works live. So I'll grab this main table and just say, okay, I want to pull this up to the top, and let's have it be all the way across. There we go. And it warns me, hey, okay, just be aware you're actually embedding this content inside of the resources tab. So just know that this is something that's going to be immediately customer facing. So I'll save this, and now I'll bounce out of the configuration and customization of that page. And let's just grab a project that has external users invited to it. I think this one, let's give it a shot. Take a look at the Teams tab, just like Cam was doing, and we'll check out the view as here. And just shows you how incredibly useful this impersonation is. But there we go. We got the resources tab available. When I click over to it, what I would expect to see now is that change that I just made where that table is up at the top. But the other great thing about here that you can see is that when you saw me drag this table to the top, it had enough rows that would require me to scroll down because it was showing the data for all projects. But now we've got this safe filter where only for this one project, only for this one customer, we're forcing that subset of rows to appear, so you can always count on this being safe and secure for all the organizations that you help out. And then down below that, they can continue to interact with all this content. So it's real. It's something that you can configure in a matter of seconds. And we're excited for more of you to be able to experiment with it. Now, if it's intriguing to you, this is how you get access to it. Guide Business Intelligence is an offering that has many layers to it. Many of you only have Report Navigator, where you can view and interact with some of the standard reports that we'll be talking about here right after this part of the presentation. But the next layer after that is to have Report Builder, where you can edit with some of this drag and drop of all the new content as you've seen. And if you find that some of the dragging and dropping of that content's a little intimidating, you can always use AI, which can give you a head start in generative dashboard creation. But this is the way that we're going through the go-to-market here. As you're looking at the different flavors, we only want you to have to buy what you really, really need. So that's why we start off first with the data feed, where you have unlimited refresh, unlimited rows, and you have dozens of data sets where you can go through and use a query API, whether you want to use it inside of GuideCX or not. And then after that, you have what has been really popular about Report Builder, where you can create things for yourselves internally. And then after that, if you have licensed both of these things, we can activate this extra feature that would allow you to also share things externally. And then after that, if you want to opt into the AI, you can. So if you're interested in this portal customization, just talk to us about these two prerequisites here that you need before that, and we can make sure that a trial of that is activated really quickly for you. But in the meantime, let's look at just what we can get out of this base level when you have this data feed and you're just consuming the default offering that's bundled in around Report Navigator and some of the new reports that we're always going to be pushing out there.
Chris,
So,
let me pause you just for a couple questions real
oh yeah,
quick.
questions, great.
A great one from Debbie for you, Cam. If we have given, in regards to the embedded onboarding portal, if we have given a user full project view, what would they see? Would they see Compass or nothing?
Yeah, thank you, Debbie. I was reading that, and unfortunately, I did not have time while I was reading that to test that out, but I believe that it would just be nothing. That would be, I believe you could have some default text behind there potentially for it to not, with that user to not load, but it is a Compass specific view that is embedded. And so
Right.
it would be more trying to be creative on what that could display so it does not look broken or disjointed, but it is compass only.
Perfect. Thanks, Kim. And then we'll add a question about our portal resources available to everyone, but I think you just covered that, Chris, as you went through the Guide BI offering. And if you already have purchased Report Builder, definitely reach out to us as far as being able to utilize this to further customize the Compass experience.
Some great questions.
Okay, that's it. Go ahead.
Okay. Back to me, Chris.
Yes, sir.
All right. Here we go. So this PM Command Center report, very excited about this. I've got my screenshot here, and one of my favorite things about today's office hours is part of the reason Chris and I are bouncing back and forth is because we have so much awesome stuff, but it's in production and we have to log in and log out because we've got different users that have different things enabled. So I'm actually going to jump away from the slide and just show this to you live inside of one of our environments. And I want to talk about these two use cases. One is that a PM, they have access to reports and they could come in here and look at their project manager command center. And when I look at this, I think that's cool for PMs to see what's going on. However, my experience when I've been either in account management or helping with different implementations is I'm usually front and center with knowing exactly what's late or where my blockage points are, things that I need to address that are top of mind. So what I think is really great is for using this report one level higher, and that is for everybody that is an admin or a manager that uses GuideCX that manages a team of project managers. I think the ability to come in here and have an accountability conversation and a status update is awesome. I know a lot of people already do that through the project list where you'll use a filter and say, let's look at all of your projects. And that's great because you can jump in and click on project by project and go through it. But this offers a different flavor and is pretty unique. So I've come in here. This is our internal GuideCX instance. And Cheyenne, she's one of my favorite people here at GuideCX. She helps onboard our customers. And I filtered it down to her view to where we can look at the projects that she has going. I've scrolled through so that we've only got test data displaying in here. And like all Domo reports, if you were to click on any one of these, it's going to filter and pull up the data that is relevant to that. I'm not going to do it just because I don't want to share data live on a call, but that's how I look at this report, that I can come in and I can talk about, hey, what's going on with this project? Where are things getting stuck? What are these overdue projects? And not that it has to be anything demeaning, but it can simply be an accountability conversation to know where we stand and have some really great metrics that can be standardized across your team that might not have been visible or useful in other ways. So that's it for the command center report.
Perfect. And again, to just add clarification, that is published and available in standard reporting. If you have Report Navigator, everyone should be able to see that in their instance right now. So get in there and check it out. Another kind of question came in from Amanda. Chris Cam, if you want to answer. She said, if a client has more than one implementation admin, will there be an easier way to assign multiple tasks to multiple people at once so that they can each use Compass View? Currently, only one admin at a time can use Compass View for us because there's no easy way to assign 30 to 60 tasks to multiple admins. The rest have to use the project view.
I'm still digesting the question. What comes to mind initially is we do have bulk edit that is available inside of the plan view. So if there's a large amount of tasks that need to be assigned to a person, you can use a bulk edit to farm those out and designate these tasks for individual A and these tasks for individual B and these tasks for individual C. And then each one of those individuals, when they log into Compass, they are only going to see those tasks that are assigned to them. That is one of the distinctions between Compass view versus full plan view, is that they really are just seeing the things that are in their lane. And so I don't know if I'm understanding the use case specifically, but uh, and if that offers any clarification, I'm happy to talk more. Oh, I need 2 or 3 or 4 admins to see the same 30 tasks in their Compass view. Good clarification. Thanks, Amanda. So under current circumstances, no, you're going to have to go with full plan view in order to give that level of visibility. One of the things that is coming with this new architecture for the plan view and all the things that we're working on with the new task drawer is that there will be multiple assignments. And so there is a future instance where all 3 of those people could be assigned to the same task and have the same visibility, and that could then flow through under the permissions that Compass is built around. But thank you for the clarification, Amanda. I hope that answers the question. Chris, you're on mute, my friend.
After Cam showed us that great detail around the command center report, another standard report being made available in Report Navigator and Report Builder is this email deliverability report. It's been something I've been so very excited to get in your hands for a long time now. But we've gone in, we've double checked the accuracy, we've double checked the security to make sure again that no recipient data ever leaks across organizations. And we're down to this final simplified version that's going to be really helpful in you having a sanity check about whether we even attempted to deliver it, and then if it wasn't delivered, exactly why it didn't happen. So the quick way to interpret this report is up here at the top. You just have your trended activity for emails of all types with its varying statuses of delivered or opened or clicked or bounced, etc. And then if it did bounce, which is one of the things we want to watch out for the most, you can drill down into the more specific reasons why that happens, either because a rate limit was hit or because of invalid addresses or different types of unsubscribes. And you can drill down to all of that for each individual recipient so that if you had a certain concern for a specific customer, that you'd be able to validate that really easily and then have a lot more specific types of requests as you either resend an invitation or trigger a new email to be sent. So over on the right at the bottom, you'll then have every single individual type of email that we send across tasks, projects, and users, and be able to see the detailed status for each of those. So this is something that should give you a lot more peace of mind when it comes to one of the main ways that we try to help you engage with your customers. And just as we continue to roll this out and make sure it loads really, really quickly for you, this is targeted for release by the end of this week, Friday at the latest, but could even be tomorrow. We're just finishing up some final performance improvements there. Along with that, though, goes another standard report called the users report, where you'd be able to do quick filtering by license type or status and see the difference between your internal users and your external customer users and go all the way down to their details about when they were created and whether they're still active. And just have this be a really easy, filterable, interactive summary that you can use to see how adoption is growing both internally and externally. This is also going to go out the same time as the email delivery report, Friday at the latest, but maybe even tomorrow. So I'll hand over the last piece now to Cam for beta updates.
Perfect. As you can see there's a couple of screenshots of messages, and what's exciting about that is the beta is live. We've got some of our customers that are using it and providing us feedback. Right now, it is open to anyone that would like to participate. However, it is not a great fit for everyone yet. And so, even though there's no restrictions on who can be in, uh, I do ask that we go through a conversation and make sure that it fits your use case and how you like to interact with your customers. We've talked about customer engagement. We don't want to do anything that hurts that or throws off your process. So if you're interested, please reach out to me directly, schedule some time with me, and we can talk through it. In regards to View As, this is also in beta, but this is different in that it is inside of our labs environment where you've been able to turn it on and off. The two updates on this are that the resend invite is being added back in later this week. That is an instance where we thought that we had our bases covered with the new authentication that we had added and the processes that allow people to quickly and easily request their own link and get in. But we've heard the feedback. We know that there are those use cases that that white glove experience is such that you want to be able to serve up a link to your customer and quickly get them in and just make it as seamless as possible. And so we're putting that back in and we want you to know we're listening to you, we're hearing you, and we want to address your needs. And then the second thing is right now our engineering team is doing some swarm testing around some improved stability for data synchronization. So a few of you have had the experience where you go into the new team page and you're not seeing all of the people that were added to the project, or the team tab might not load for you, and you've had to go back in and turn off the View As feature to get the legacy page. And obviously that was never our intention. It's not what we wanted. Even when we run a beta, we want it to be a better experience than that. But we have been working through that, and we are very excited to have those improvements go out later this week. So as soon as Chris and I get done, we get to go join that swarm test and figure out if there's any final gaps. But that'll be coming, and we'll be able to have you on that full time. That's it.
Perfect. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for joining again. Thanks for the questions and the engagement in the chat and the Q&A. We love this time that we get to talk with all of you each month to get your feedback and again, share the new and exciting things happening at GUIDEcx. So we look forward to talking with you again next month, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, everybody.